This is actually an issue that I have like broadly with a lot of Dylan Burns' panels is the debate there should never have been are these changes to Scotland's education system good? Because you will never budge somebody who does not believe in the validity of trans people over on that topic. I heard there was recently a really bad heat wave up in the Pacific Northwest up there, and honestly, it's gonna be a pretty hot summer. It has been a very hot summer, and if you're like me and you have trouble staying hydrated when it's hot out and you sweat a lot or the heat just gets to you, then you need cold water. But going back and forth to the fridge, that's a pain in the ass. Pain in the ass. So why not keep your cold water with you in a bottle that'll keep it cold for a long time, is easy and convenient to use, and not to mention, looks pretty damn stylish. Introducing the Coldest Water. It's a brand that has a lot of different products, but my favorite thing from them are their water bottles. I actually have two of them. And I gotta say, I really like this upgrade. You versus who she tells you not to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, if you would like to get one, you can actually get it for a pretty good discount. The link in the description. I have an affiliate code as well as an affiliate link. Go check it out. I get a cut of whatever you make, and you get a fairly sizable little bit taken off of the total buy if you pick anything up. Oh wait, I'm getting a call from LonerBox? Shit, hold on. I didn't know I was. Am I? LonerBox? Hey, what's up?
Hello?
Hey, oh yeah, sorry, I gotta turn off push to talk 1 second. Voice and video, voice active. There we go. Hey, what's up?
Hey, you're not preparing any content right now, are you? Fuck it, I just thought I'd call for a post-debate therapy session and shit.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna do a segment after we finish talking on Hunter Avalon and Shoonhead's debate. But no, we can talk for a little bit. I'm still live right now though, so just
Yeah, me too.
Just letting you know. Okay, cool.
Yeah. How did you feel?
I wish in that last part I got to talk more. I was putting my hand up a lot, and I tried to, bump in there. There was some things I wanted to say, but I didn't really get to. But I've had a million transphobe debates. It's really like all these arguments I've heard a million times, and I've argued against them a million times. I don't think like I'm doing a disservice to my audience if I don't, budge in and find some way to talk. But my girlfriend just got my dog. Yeah, look at this dog. Yeah, so basically, he kicked me one time, yeah, but, yeah, I didn't want to, like, have a repeat of that, so I was trying not to interrupt too much, but yeah, I mean, it was pretty wild. I wish I got to talk more.
Yeah, I think you're on good terms by now, surely. Has he kicked you more than once?
No, just once, no.
Yeah,
It's just
I
have an iffy...
the most,
I also have an iffy, like, history with it. Okay, I can't hold dogs, I'm sorry. I'm really bad at it. My girlfriend just handed me this tiny little dog, and I was just like, I don't know what to do. Wait, Lonnie, could you let the dog out? Because she's going to poop on my floor. She's looking for a place to poop on my floor right now. You got to let her out. It's your donut. I'll get the cat, okay? I'm sorry. Things are a bit of a mess right now. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, I've argued against these things a lot, so, I mean, it was nothing special. I just wish I got to talk a little more.
Yeah, that was the first transphobe argument I've ever had, and it had to be with fucking T-Jump, for fuck's sake. Yeah.
Well, so the problem with, this is actually an issue that I have, like, broadly with a lot of Dylan Burns' panels, is, the debate there should never have been... are these changes to Scotland's education system good? Because you will never budge somebody who does not believe in the validity of trans people over on that topic. There's sort of like, you have to start by convincing this person that trans people are valid. This goes for the audience as well, like the audience watching. You want to start with a completely different topic. You have to at least sell the audience on trans people being valid to justify teaching trans people are valid in schools. We're never going to get anywhere with that topic, and it was, for the most part, a waste of time, which was a little frustrating for me.
Yeah,
but I mean, it was still fun.
Like,
it was still
I don't know.
content.
I felt like he admitted it though. In the end, did he not say that like if a teacher was to misgender a child after knowing that misgendering causes harm, that would be bullying? But then he went straight back to saying he isn't a slur. Yeah. So fuck yeah, I don't know, like, cause if top secret, it was actually
Yeah.
I did share that with Dylan. I didn't expect him to get to put that article in the Hippy Dippy. I just sent it to him for an opinion and all that. But yeah, just because I remember seeing on Twitter just like the amount of fucking outrage caused by this guideline that actually just kind of enforces practice that's good practice already. You know, like
Hmm.
even in the fucking 1960s, if you were misgendering a child and they kept on showing demonstrable harm from it, like you'd probably be a good teacher if you stopped, right?
Yeah, the problem is, and this is really common in conservative rhetoric, the idea is to compassion is supposed to be like a bad thing, or maybe not a bad thing, but at least for men, a bad thing, right?
Hmm.
Men aren't really supposed to show compassion. There's a lot of like machismo behind conservatism, right? So the argument that we shouldn't do this because it is the right or the nicest or the correct thing to do or the thing that causes the most happiness, that isn't an argument that's going to um, work with conservatives a lot of the time, or at least somebody. Well, so there's a difference between the audience who are conservative, who are just like indoctrinated, and then the creators who are conservative, who, while they may also be indoctrinated, have become indoctrinators themselves. So you're never going to convince T-Jump that we should, properly gender trans people because it's nice. The best thing you can do is kind of go down the line of the data that scientifically like and verifiably backs up this position, and instead get them on like the super debate bro logical point of you're just incorrect. That science agrees trans people are valid. You are just advocating for being wrong. They don't care about compassion. They don't care about being nice, but they do care about being wrong in their audience eyes.
Yeah, I did kind of think that. Like, I was, yeah, like, because I saw like from the right in the beginning, he was saying that he like, disagreed that any of the psychology or any of the science was valid. So I was like, fuck. But I know that T Jump likes to do his little fucking like call everything he doesn't like a logical fallacy, even when it's not. But then, yeah, just like going around with that, like I don't know. I just thought like trying to do that kind of like moral equivalence, but fuck knows. I think he conceded at the end, but then just kind of changed the subject. I don't know. Fuck. That was
Yeah, I
really
mean,
interesting though.
it was interesting. I mean, I had a fun time with it. The thing you have to know about the Hippy Dippy or any of these debate panels is nobody really wins them. It's just sort of the person who wins them is Dylan. Yeah, it's not like your reputation will never be. Is this like your first one of your first debates that you've done?
Probably like, yeah, on Twitch it's like my third or fourth. Yeah, I've done
Okay,
Reverie
yeah.
a few times and
Yeah,
Hippie.
yeah. I wouldn't worry about performance in these like panel shows. Like nobody really judges anybody's like debate skill off these panel shows. It's the 1v1s that really matter. And that just those debate panels, especially the Rumble, just aren't an environment where you're going to have any productive conversation. You just want to have fun with it as much as you can. That's what I do, and I mean, I think I do well enough in these panels.
How did you feel about the Afghanistan conversation? For most of it, every time I saw Dylan's face, I was like, "Fuck, I haven't done enough research." Shit, like,
I
yeah.
mean, I my whole thing with Afghanistan was that we're there. So a while ago, back in April, Dylan was going to do a hippy dippy, and one of the topics was going to be Biden's announcement that he was going to try to get us out of Afghanistan. He was going to try to continue Trump's move there. And so I needed to research that topic because I knew jack shit about it. Okay, I played Metal Gear Solid 5. That's about as much as I knew. I was born when I was like 1 year old, I think, when 9/11 happened. Yeah, I didn't know about any of this shit. So I did a bunch of research on it, at least enough that I felt I could hold my own in a hippy dippy panel back in April. And I didn't end up being able to go on because I had technical difficulties. It's why we do Discord for anyone that I'm on, because I can't do Whereby, which is what he normally does. So I just ended up making a video about what I'd learned. And I'd learned very quickly that if we left, the Taliban would take over, and the Taliban are really bad. They're worse than, I'd say, America in our occupation there. That things would be worse under their control. And I made a video about that, and I got so much shit. I lost 20,000 subscribers that week, I think. Or not
Fuck.
20,000, 2,000. Sorry. Whew, 20K would have been, okay, 2,000 though. Still a lot. I lost like 2,000 subscribers. The video got massively ratioed. I did lose 2K, yeah. I managed to regain most of it back fairly quickly, but YouTube has a feature now. If you go into your analytics, you can see how many subscribers you've ever had compared to what you currently have. And it shows you how many channels have subbed and then unsubbed from you. Like, you'd be surprised by how big your channel should be if no one had ever unsubbed. I should be at about, I think, 90 to 100K subs right now. But I'm at 62K because I've lost around 30K over the course of my YouTube career. Because people sub and then unsub, or YouTube unsubscribes them, or, you know, all sorts of shit happens. But I put out a video about that and I got so much shit. My Twitter was brigaded. My channel lost a ton of subs. I got tons of shit. And then, you know, I ended up being right. I was more right than I thought I was, especially because I said the Taliban would retake Afghanistan in like a few weeks, I think I said back in that video. And instead they got it in a couple days. I think I said a few weeks. I mean, my video is still up on my channel if anyone wants to fact check me. I don't know if like my prediction, I remember thinking it would only take weeks for the Taliban to take over. I don't know if I said it, but that's what I remember thinking. But even that was well off. It ended up only being like 2 days until they took over.
Yeah, there must have been some pretty big fucking reason. I'm looking at the thumbnail right now from the Bad Empanada's poorly aged response.
If you click on Bad Empanada's video, he's been deleting every single new comment because they've all been saying your video aged like milk, or it turns out Zan was right.
Yeah. Fuck.
He got really mad.
Like, even because like all the security experts and all that were assuring the presidents and the prime ministers and all that the Taliban had no chance. Boris Johnson said no chance. No chance.
Yeah. I just looked into the history and I was like, okay, so my first instinct was if the Taliban are still kicking after 22 years or whatever of us being in this country, there must be something going on with them that's making it really hard for them, or like for us to fight them. And I looked into it, and there are quite a few things. It is not as simple as CTV and Counterpoints are making it out to try to fight the Taliban. A huge issue is obviously geography. I got super canceled for this back in the day. One of the things they posted was a clip of me going over like a map of Vietnam and a map of Afghanistan and saying there's a similar issue that troops there have when fighting the Taliban as U.S. soldiers had fighting the Viet Cong, in that the geography is similar in that it is very beneficial for the smaller attacking force or defending force to defend that area than the larger attacking force that's, you know, invading. And people clipped that and just took the part where I said they're geographically similar to make people think that I was arguing that Vietnam and Afghanistan are, like, climate-wise the same, which was ridiculous. Oh, hey, some ordinary gamers is in my chat. What's up, Muda?
Yeah, even though the exit from like Vietnam was still even like less crazy than the one in Afghanistan. Yeah, like even like when I saw, because I know the Soviet Union, when they left, the Communist Party in Afghanistan managed to hold on for quite a few years before the Taliban. But yeah, I mean, I never actually got to hear. Maybe I did. Like, do you think there's anything that coalition forces or whatever can do now other than just accept refugees, or where are you now?
I mean, the thing is that anybody who proposes that we go back to Afghanistan to fight the Taliban is committing political suicide here in America. We've gotten so populist and anti-war. And I'm not saying anti-war is a bad thing. I'm just saying that it's simplistic, right? Like, would an anti-war be in favor of America trying to attack Germany during the Holocaust? I mean, so I would think, right? I don't think anti-war needs to necessarily mean against any type of intervention. But I think probably what's going to happen is that it is political suicide to advocate for going back for any politician. So that's not going to happen. What I think is going to happen is you're going to see from here on out decades and decades and decades of internal strife in Afghanistan. You're going to have... I mean, there's already revolutions happening now, and they're doing okay, but there's only so much that can be done. I really didn't like how quickly a lot of the conservatives in the call, I didn't like how quickly they were to like try to shit talk the soldiers who stood down. One of the big reasons why we only had like 2,000 soldiers on the ground in Afghanistan, you know, right before we pulled out. And for the last couple of years, I think, we weren't offering that much help by being there. what we were doing for the most part was acting as a massive deterrent. Having a single American soldier on the ground in that defense of, say, Kabul, for example, means that if the Taliban invade and then murder an American soldier, or God forbid, a platoon of American soldiers, that is very different than if they killed a platoon of Afghan soldiers. When you've spilled American blood on foreign soil, and the power there is the one who's doing it, American soldiers, that would immediately rouse up the pro-war tensions here in America, and then we'd have support to go invade Afghanistan again, and this time go in much harder. That's served as a pretty big deterrent, just having American soldiers there. And we left them. Like, why would you stand and fight when you've just been left for you and your families to die? If you fight the Taliban, they're going to roll in like the mafia and they're going to kill you and your family. I mean, you can go on Twitter and see for the last couple of weeks videos of the Taliban like shooting in firing squads, Afghan soldiers and civilians who they suspected of working with the U.S. government. They had their hands up, they were surrendering, and they were shooting them down. I mean, it's rough.
Yeah, the fact that as well that it was just after they made a bunch of concessions to the Taliban, like they got the Afghan resistance to basically give up 5,000 of their prisoners, like give up their bargaining chip for a ceasefire, and like, oh god, yeah, and but that whole thing, that was just so bizarre. Like you never expect to hear like an argument about like the men are just being cowardly and shit. Like there's no historical precedent for that. Like if you look back at the last kind of 40 or 50 years around the world, the strongest line of defense against radical Islam has been Muslims. They're the ones who are doing most of the fighting against radical Islam, and they're the ones who are most likely to die at the hands of radical Islam while fighting them. So I just thought that was just so bizarre. It just defies like everything we know about the Muslim world.
I think this is an American thing. I assume you've heard of this story, but I don't know if you know how like ingrained the story is in our culture. It's not like a story that we tell to our kids before bed every night or whatever, but it did set a precedent for our cultural behavior around this. And it's a story of the Alamo and like the Last Stand. Americans are very, very into the idea of sacrificing yourself for your country, right? Like the idea that if you're not willing to stand up and like sacrifice your life in a fight that's unwinnable, like the Alamo was, then that makes you a coward. And so that's like an idea very like entrenched in American culture, and so that's probably why they reacted that way and said those Afghan soldiers who dropped their guns and ran to evacuate, that they're cowards because they didn't stand and die fighting a force they could not beat. They would not be able to win against the Taliban. The Taliban are bigger than a lot of people think. I don't think if they did stand and fight, they would have won. I really don't
they're
think
next
so.
door to a fucking nuclear power. It's also, and just not to mention like fucking, oh, what was I going to say? That like that you're conflating like fighting for America with what? Fighting for a president who ran off to Tajikistan the first chance he got with a briefcase of $160 million. Yeah, pretty inequivalent. Yeah. I don't know. We have there's a story here about it's not like a bedtime story or anything, but it's like the idea that I don't know if you maybe heard this, maybe in like 2015, 16, there was this talking point going around that like in 2015 and 16, more Muslims in the UK went off to fight in Syria than joined the British Army. And the thing was like, look how badly integrated they are. They're not joining the British Army. They want to go fight in Syria instead. But then it turned out that most of the Muslims who went over to Syria went there to fight against ISIS.
Oh yeah, no. I feel like this is something that is this really isn't very culturally represented. In like, just if you're American and you're here, most of your understanding of like conflicts in the Middle East, especially, come from like war movies that glorify the shit out of America and to a degree, white people. Most Americans are not like foreign policy experts that even watch the news enough to know what's going on in Afghanistan. They've seen like some war movies or Call of Duty or whatever, right? And so the idea is like you've got these white soldiers going over and fighting those brown terrorists across the sea, right? unironically the idea a lot of Americans have of what's going on over there. They don't realize that not only and then of course the idea that these brown terrorists are coming over and they're bombing us, right? That's the idea, especially after 9/11. But in reality, the truth of the situation is where there is terrorism in these countries, it's happening 99.9% of the time to other people living in those countries, and most of the people fighting it are the people living in those countries. They don't like that terrorism either. They don't like the authoritarian ideology either. Even in the most conservative, like Islamic country, or mostly, I guess, Muslim religious country out there, you're going to find more progressive movements that aren't in favor of like the extreme shit. So yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. I've got one more question actually before I go.
Sure.
It's very pressing. What's your opinion on Destiny's current state?
Oh, I think I'm so upset that we didn't get Methstiny debating a Nazi. That would have been amazing. What I want is to see Destiny either high on coke or high on meth debating someone, debating Ben Shapiro, actually. And then I want to watch that on 2x speed. That's my dream. And if I never get to see that dream out, I'll be very upset. But no, I mean, I saw the picture that Destiny posted. That was so obviously meth and not MDMA that it's astonishing how obviously meth it was.
To be honest, actually, I've taken a lot of MDMA. I couldn't tell the difference from that.
Really? Isn't MDMA like yellower?
No, it doesn't have to be. Oh, yeah, if it's good. But there you can get shit MDMA that looks like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what he got was most likely shit MDMA that just had a lot of meth in it. Because depending, like, yeah, I mean, like Coke, for example. I mean, Coke has meth in it out here where I live. Like, you'll never find an ounce of Coke that doesn't have a little bit of meth in it, because it's something that, has similar effects and is, easier to mix together because then you're selling a higher volume. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't get much meth here, but I've had spiked stuff before, like, speed instead of something. Yeah, it really, really fucks your vibe. I feel nothing but sympathy for our brave soldier. Like, forget the guys in Afghanistan, that Destiny fucking.
Oh yeah, he's right fucked up. He's gonna be fucked up for a while. He'll
his fucking brain's in Afghanistan right now. Like, yeah. All right. Well, shit. I won't keep you any longer. It's 5 a.m. here, and I've had no drugs. Disgusting. All right. Yeah.
Oh wait, I don't have you friended. Here you go. Sorry, I added you as a friend on Discord. No, I didn't have you friended.
I didn't have you friended either, I guess. All right. Cool. Well, yeah. I'll see you when I see you again.
Alrighty. Have a good one. Okay.
All right. Night, son. Bye, bye.
See ya. That was a nice conversation. That was fun. All right. Can you do an outro so I can upload that talk? Yeah. Hey, everybody. If you enjoyed that video, please leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell icon so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a brand new video. And of course, if you want to follow me on my social media, there's a link down in the description for my YouTube, my Twitter, my Twitch, my TikTok, and of course, my Instagram. And you can also join my fan Discord, the link down there, as well as donating to me on my website, xanderhal.com/live, on YouTube or Twitch. If you want to help me get that VR headset so we can do some VR streams, I think it could be a lot of fun. All the donations are welcome. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.